And here I am. I'm cold. I'm very cold. I have a little space heater underneath of this blanket, and it's nice, but my hands are... What can I say? I'm cold. It's cold in here. I came in today, and the studio was -3 degrees on the inside of the studio, which is not very warm. Anyway, who cares? Oh, cool. I'm way off the side of the screen. Isn't that sick? There I am in all my glory. Okay, let's listen to some music. See what you guys have been up to this week. I did want to say that I think I'm going to put a call out for somebody to take these videos and cut them into like Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts. So if anybody is good at video editing and knows what is interesting content, because obviously, you know, I stream for a couple hours every week, and I'd be interested in hiring somebody to go through and pick out maybe, you know, 3 or 4 interesting segments and cut them together in a modern, punchy kind of way. I don't think I could probably pay you a whole lot, but I would try to compensate you fairly for your time. And so if anybody's interested, send me a DM, which stands for direct message. And maybe I'll give you a big long video file and get you to cut it into 3 or 4 Instagram Reels, and then I'll pay for that, and then we'll see how it goes. So, with that being said, let's listen to some music. I'm sorry I'm sitting kind of awkwardly. I really need to get warm before I can. I'm going to hit play, and then I'm going to put my hands under the blankets next to the heater, and then hopefully have some feeling in my pinkies again. All right, the next song, the first song, I guess it's the next song if you consider us doing it last week, is Johnny Gamble. I sent this a while back, but didn't have time to work on it. Okay, here we go. I think it's interesting that your snare drum has such a hard cutoff. That's cool. Almost like it was like an MP3 snare. Okay, what do I think? I think it's very cool. Right here, I don't know. I kind of think it would hit harder if this was just the start of the drop here instead of like this kind of little fake out area. Let's see what it sounds like. Just do that. Sure. I personally like that better. I think that the little fake out section was too long and it lost too much momentum. This one, it kind of feels like the thing is ding 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 ding. It's like bouncing into the drop instead of like bouncing in and then rolling around for a while and then the drop happens. So I'd probably cut that little section out. Thank you for the update, Cloudy Parallels. It's great to know I'm picturing it, even though I don't really know what you look like. I don't know why I said I don't really know what you look like. I don't know what you look like at all. But I am picturing a person eating a croissant pepperoni pizza from Diaggiorno. Okay, I think this track would lend itself quite well to vocals, like the chord structure. I don't know. I feel like it's missing vocals. I feel like vocals would be a very good addition to this track. Why? Okay, I like this synth. Why? And yes, Cloudy Parallels. Thank you. I will talk to you after the stream. I like this synth, but it's like we only got one note the entire time of that synth. I kind of feel like you should play a melody on that synth. I don't know. I think overall this track feels like it's missing a melody or vocals. Like maybe it could be a melody, just a synth melody, no vocals, or you could have vocals, which gives you a melody and also vocals. I think it's cool. I think the pacing feels a little slow at times, mostly because of the tempo. And just, you know, quickening certain things up, like getting rid of that one section, I think helps with the pacing a lot, because I don't feel like I'm sitting around like tapping my foot waiting for the drop. But there's also like, I don't know, this section kind of felt like it was dragging on as well. A melody or vocals could fix that. I think overall, cut that section out and maybe think about getting some vocalists, getting a vocalist to do some vocals on it. And that is what I think. I think you have a lot of really cool elements. I just think the pacing overall is a little slow. Yeah, it's cool. I dig it. Thank you for sending. Let's move on. Just a gent. Senseless. Netflix flip. It's so hard not to say Netflix. Can't tell you what you want. Can't tell you what you want. I know what you want. I can't tell you what you want. Okay, this is cool, but before I forget, Johnny Gamble, I do also think you had a little bit too much headroom on the file overall. Like it was like there was like a 2 dB or something of just headroom across the whole, like ceiling across the whole thing. I do think that it's a good idea to have maybe 0.1 dB of headroom so you don't go right to 0. But I think you're just giving up volume for no reason when you have that much. Like, let's look at it again. Yeah, I don't really think there's any reason. That might not be 2 or 3 dB. However many dB the ceiling is, I feel like it's 0.1. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. But I think that this is excessive. You basically want to be as loud as you can be without, and I'm just talking overall amplitude. You want to be as loud as you can be without hitting like 0, just because sometimes bad things happen at 0, allegedly. And the difference between 0 and minus 0.01 or 0.1, sorry. Let me just start over. The difference between going right to 0 dB and going to minus 0.1 dB is imperceivable from a human point of view, but from math and MP3 and websites and streaming, it maybe makes a difference. I don't know. That's what I've been told. I don't know. I've never done scientific testing, and I bet you 99% of the people that give you that advice also haven't done scientific testing. But for what it's worth, give up 0.1 dB and then sleep well at night. Let's keep listening to this track. So this is really cool. The thing I think is missing is like the top drums are quite subtle, and there's not a whole lot of like percussion in the top end. And I think that because of the tempo being slow, it kind of has a bit of a slower pace to it, just naturally. But I think having maybe some hi-hats or something that are a little bit louder, a little bit tighter, maybe, because right now it kind of sounds like you mostly just have a very quiet open hi-hat on the upbeat. Well, you kind of have, it almost sounds like a pedal, like somebody stepping on the pedal of a hi-hat. I'm thinking more like sharp, like trap hats or something, or done tastefully. But I think you could maybe make the pacing feel a little faster on this if you had a bit more excitement in the top end. I like how, I know it's a flip, right? But I like how you can tell when like the MP3 stops and then like the knot and then like the original elements come in. And then I think like arrangement wise, it kind of feels like a collection of ideas. I'm not really getting a super clear, like this is where I'm at in the track. It kind of just feels like ideas one after another. And I think that maybe the top drum idea could help you create a bit more definition to the different parts, and you could build up, and then okay, this part the hi-hats go twice as fast or whatever, half as fast, whatever the differences are. But to me, I think that I would do two things. I would try to create a bit more of a storyline or an arc to it, which I know is a bit vague in terms of advice, but right now I couldn't really tell you what the main part of the song was, you know? And don't get me wrong, every individual section is sick. Like, they all sound great. There's a breakdown. Yeah, I don't know if I have any real good, like, specific advice. Besides, I think trying some sharper, higher end, more crispy percussion hats, that sort of stuff, I think will help quite a bit. But I think for the most part, the bigger problem is that the arrangement just kind of feels like Kadia said, vibey. Like, it's all very vibey and it's all enjoyable, but I didn't really feel like I knew where I was in the song at any given point in time. I was just kind of like, oh, this is a cool section. Oh, this is a cool section. Oh, I like that thing that's happening, you know? I really like this. I feel like that is maybe the coolest. It might not be the coolest in terms of like sound design and flow and stuff, but the rhythm and the energy. I would maybe like try to develop this idea up a bit better and then maybe use that as the main like drop section throughout the track, you know, build up to that and then have variations of that and then structure the rest of the song around that being the main thing. But I don't know. Those are just some random ideas that I have. So I hope that gives you some ideas on your end. Because like I watch a lot of business YouTube videos and like, you know, content creation videos and marketing videos and all kinds of stuff. And 90% of the stuff they say is just garbage. And like, I've heard it a trillion times, but I'm not really watching it for their ideas. I'm watching it for the ideas that I come up with while watching them. So I hope that it works the same for you where, you know, my ideas might not be the best ideas, but me saying them to you might spark an idea in your head, and then that's the value. Anyway, cool. Let's move on. Thank you for sending. Let's check out Coder B5. I haven't seen Coder B5 in a while. Is that Melikaliki Maka?
Where's the wedding?
Oh, in Hawaii.
Oh.
Yep. Oh, awesome. Woohoo! Melikaliki Maka.
That was definitely... Sorry, I'm not yawning because the song was boring. I'm yawning because I have poor sleep habits. So this is an interesting take on a Melikaliki Maka. I don't really know if I love the effects on the vocal. I think the vocal sounds cool and it fits the vibe of the track. I don't really know if I like the processing that's on it. I also I think I'd like it if right off the top of the drop we had like I don't want to say color bass because I definitely don't mean that, but like a bass that has some character to it, a wub, if you will, or maybe a character bass. Maybe that's more what I'm thinking, because there's lots of really cool percussion happening, and the sub bass is solid, but I don't really have. Even if it was just like a wump, dee 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 wub, you know, like some sort of phrasing. I don't find that there's any real phrasing in the drop. It's just like it's like a groove. There's a groove happening, but there's no like any sort of phrase. So you kind of brought something in here. Like I like that 303 bass. It's cool. But it happens in the second part of the drop. So maybe something that would play nice with the acid bass. Let me listen again. So you basically have like a call and response, but the call is the vocal and maybe like a little ding, 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 ding thing. And then the response is a 303 bass. But I think for the start of the drop, you should have a different bass orchestra. What's that, like sixth hit or whatever, like the hip hop one? I think I have it somewhere. Come on, where did I put it? Oh, it's probably under miscellaneous. I found it. Anyway, not that, but probably some bass sound. So having a bass sound here. To be the call, and then the 303 bow 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 thing is the response. I think that off the top is going to be cool. And then I think you got to figure out how to process the vocals a little bit differently. To me, I think this is maybe your vocal, and I think you're maybe processing them in a way that is insecure. And I know that from experience, where you use your own vocal and you try to kind of hide it in the mix a little because you're a little insecure about the vocal. I could be wrong. I'm not saying that's definitely the way it is, but that's what it feels like to me. It feels like you're trying to hide it in the mix a little. You don't want it in the spotlight because it's your vocal, and pretty much nobody who hears their own voice is like, that sounds cool, you know? So I think I would start off by not having it 1000% wide. I'd probably have it a bit more centered and probably louder in the mix. And I don't know. I would experiment with it. Let's just go with that. To me, I don't love the processing in the vocal right now. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I think it's cool. Good job. All right, Cinnamon Dioxide, first project version 2. Okay, here we go. I see some potential rhythmic elements. Let's find out. Okay, that I don't think is in the right key. I feel like the flute is one semitone off of the chords. Am I wrong? Avant-garde. I I feel like the flute is not in the right key. What are you using for a an instrument? Because sometimes if it's like a sound font player or whatever, the root sample might not be C, and then the key is going to be all messed up, right? But to me, that it doesn't sound like it's in the right key. This is over here. This part. Why no like snare or clap? Like why the hi-hat on the 2 and the 4? Shouldn't it be like a snare or like a side stick or something like that? I really like this section the best. This part is actually pretty good. I like that kind of warbly synth thing that's in the background. That's cool. The drums to me sound very it sounds like you were paying the drummer per drum hit and you were on a budget. I think that's the best way I can describe it. Like every time he hit the drum, he charged you $2 or something. And you're like, well, I got $25, dude. So maybe at the end, just hit it half. Yeah, I think I think these drums sound better than the last one that were more like Casio. These sound like sampled drums, but I just don't necessarily understand why it's like kick and then hi-hat, 350. Better drums to come. Okay. Well, to me, I would investigate the key of the flute. It just, to me, does not sound like it's in the correct key. Let's see if we can see if I can brute force it here. Okay, so you're playing a D on the flute. I don't know if I can listen through the flute to hear the chord. Bum. Okay, so I think the chord is playing a G sharp. And the flute is playing... Oh, it's playing a C now. Yeah, I don't know. Musically, there's something strange happening between those two elements. So figure that out. And another thing to think about is that kick drum sounds like a kick drum from like an 80s hair metal band. Let's see if we can find it again. Like it kind of sounds like Def Leppard drum kit or something. I'm not sure that it suits the vibe of the song, but I am glad that you went and got some new drum samples, and that is part of the journey. Keep collecting drum samples. Soon you will have, I wonder how many one shots I have. This should be interesting. If I go to drum samples and I go properties, let's see how many one shot drum samples I have. 166,500 drum one shots, like a psh or a dsh, 166,500. I'm not saying you need that many, but that's how many I have. So start collecting, my friend. This end part is sick. Keep going with that. And why collect gold bars when you can collect drum samples? Wow, I see a theme is emerging. All right, those are my thoughts, dude. Keep it up. I'm glad that you are expanding your horizons, and I'm always willing to have a listen to what you got. So let's move on. Aiden Dodge, Soul Freestyle. Oh boy, here we go.
All right, let's see who we got up next. It looks like up next, guys, please welcome to the stage, Aiden Dodge!
Thank you. All right, time to get this started. Let's get it. Yeah, I'm next at it, cause I'm back at it. Yeah, I go spastic like a coffee addict. I got nice flow, I don't go slow. Do you feel me, bro? Do you not know? There's so much I can do with these. My balls are so cold, they will give you ray freeze. And I don't know if I can physically freeze. They will give you ray freeze. And I don't know if they will give you ray freeze. And I don't know if I can physically freeze. In my photos, I'll never say cheese. I learn my letters like ABCD. You learn your numbers like 1, 2, 4, 3. They pass the microphone back out to me, cause what I say makes all the homies go shh. They be blown away. When I say so to the girls, I see lots of pussy.
I've been working so hard to get myself closer to the flame. Taking shots, putting myself out there so everyone can know my name. But nobody cares how hard you work when you are in it for the fame. But the industry is not a game.
When I make dubs at the rave, wanna headbang. When I make R&B, the girls wanna bed bang. When I make hip-hop, the hood wanna gangbang. When I try country, I just use too much slang.
And I'm not very well known for my twang.
I'm not known for the style being
Sang, I just don't see that.
So this is, I'm gonna be honest, better than I was expecting. The vocal, sorry, my eye was itchy, and then I itched it really hard, and now I'm seeing stars. There's a weird frequency thing going on with the vocal. I can't quite put my finger on
The
it.
industry is not a game.
When I make dubs at the rave, wanna headbang. When I make R&B, the girls wanna bed bang. When I make hip-hop, the hood wanna gangbang. When I try country, I just use too much slang.
And I'm not very
Oh, I can use this section to figure it out.
Country, I just use too much.
So
Country, I just use too much slang.
it's like it sounds like there's like not a lot of top end, or
Country, I just use too much slang. And country, I just use.
I'm not sure what you're doing for the processing on the vocal, but I don't think it's that great.
Country, I just use. Country, I just use too much. Country, I just use too much slang. And country, I just use too much slang. Country, I just use.
It almost sounds like it was like recorded improper. I don't know. There's something I don't like about the vocals processing wise.
it's my pain.
But enough of that already. My mouth is getting kinda sweaty. I need to give myself a break before my lips turn to spaghetti.
Yeah, before my lips turn to spaghetti.
I've been going through hardships for my whole life.
Did you like have to do some like noise reduction or something? There's just like there's like a weird hollowness or something. There's a weird frequency response on the vocal.
I've lost so much, this feels like a sacrifice.
Yeah, I will never give up on my dream to be the best there is, and I will keep on pushing till I find my path. I will keep on moving myself fully through the rest of this, and all of you will really get to feel my rap. All these people in the industry are dropping craziness, but if you mess with me, I promise it'll be a bloodbath.
Yeah, I think if you have to use noise reduction, just re-record it. I think that's the lesson of the day here. You're never gonna go and pull out like the sound of the window being open successfully. It's always going to be a compromise. There are uses for those tools, and the uses are more like you recorded, maybe you were doing the audio for like a documentary or a video or something like that, and there's a scene that was shot and something screwed up with the microphone, and blah, blah, blah. You have to like save it, right? And you can't redo it because it was a big production and you can't redo that day. But when it's you recording your own vocals with your own system, just re-record the vocals. Don't try to save it with RX7 or RX11 or whichever one you have. It just ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? Like it's always gonna be a compromise, and it's never gonna be nearly as good as just re-recording the vocals.
I'll probably get a really, really good laugh. Everybody's trying to take me down, but I keep coming out, even better and stronger. Soon enough, I'll be flying out of town to have shows that I exaggerated this very stronger. People said that I wouldn't get good, but I've turned out to be quite the lyrical author. My people said that I'd be mentally unstable, but I made it this far, so I can only go farther.
Yeah, it almost, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of having water in my ears. Like when I listen to the vocals, it sounds like I have water in my ears.
Lyrical author. My people said that I'd be mentally unstable, but I made it this far, so
and I can almost guarantee you that at least a large portion of that is coming from some sort of cricket removal tool in RX11. So I would re-record the vocals. The flow is pretty good most of the time. There's still a few times where
everybody's trying to take me down, but I keep coming.
To take me down. There's certain parts where it kind of sounds like there should be more syllables than there are. And you just kind of stretch the syllable out to fill the space, like right there.
Everybody's trying to take me down, but I keep coming out, even better and stronger. Soon enough, I'll be flying out of town, trying to take me down, but I keep.
Take me down kind of feels a bit awkward, like you had to like fill the space with take me down, but you didn't do it in like a poignant kind of way. It just kind of sounded like you're like, fuck, I don't have enough syllables, I better stretch this out, you know? But for the most part, it's pretty good. Like you did a pretty good job. But I think the moral of the story is just if you have crickets in your recording, record it when there's no crickets. Cool. All right, let's move on. Chenda, Cloudy Parallels, and JT Roach, Good Blood. Here we go. Look at this. EB major. EB Maj. Whatever EB Maj means. 164 beats per minute. Oh, wait. What's BPM?
See it on your face, it's like you're walking with this weight you don't need to carry. No, it makes it heavier to feel like you're the only one not happy. When you're going through the motions, when you're locked inside your mind, I don't notice you make yourself hard to reach.
This is really nice, but those super stereo drums are kind of distracting me a bit.
Yourself hard to reach. And the only voice you're hearing tells
like it almost sounds like the drums are 100% on the sides. I doubt they are, but you know, they're too. They sound wide in an artificial way. They sound like they've been widened.
and the only voice you're hearing tells you lies that you don't need. Don't waste a moment giving them your energy. You're sacred, you got good blood. There's no reason to wonder if you're more than an honor. Your heart was made out of stardust. You're not like any other. Don't hold back any colors.
I would pay you to not use the phaser uplifter.
Any colors. Don't hold back any colors.
In fact, I might start a Kickstarter to remove this uplifter sample from everybody's computer. It's the uplifter of like blowing across a pop bottle and then the pop bottle's filling up with water. I don't know, everything sounded authentic until I heard that. And then I was like, oh right, this is EDM. That's how I feel. Anyway, let's keep going.
They might not be ready for how beautiful it is. They might not.
I probably have like some sort of impact, like a doo or something here.
They might not be. They might not be ready for.
Not like massive, like not like a huge like explosion impact, but just like a doosh or something. Something to punctuate the start of this section, especially because you have this like little transitionary piece. I wonder what it would sound like 164. 164. Are we lined up? Oh, we are. Look at that. Where am I? Okay. I was lost, but now I'm found. Let's see. Oh, I hit the space bar. Oh, wait, what? What did I do wrong? Math. Ah, I went too far. I got it. Understood. Let's try this again. Sorry. Rookie move. They
might not be ready. They might not be. They might not be ready for how beautiful it. They might not be.
Like, I don't know. I know. I understand the idea behind these little transitionary pieces. I just don't know if it's necessary. You know, like, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it really work that well just without being in the actual project. But I wonder if it would flow better.
They might not be ready.
You know, let's just throw in a little drum samples, kicks. Let's see what this sounds like. VEC, sure. Why not? Okay, let's see what this sounds like.
They might not be ready for how beautiful it is when you don't hold back.
I'm kind of torn. I don't mind it either way, but if it was me working on it, I would probably try to transition. I'd probably try to make this arrangement work because it's a little more concise, but it's not a deal breaker. It's just maybe something to think about. Let's keep going.
No, you don't need that permission just to be yourself, so don't ask. Don't ask. When you're going through the motions and you're locked inside your mind, you think I don't notice, you make yourself hard to reach. And the only voice you're hearing tells you lies that you don't need. Don't waste a moment giving them your energy. You're sacred. You got good blood. There's no reason to wonder if you're more than a number. Your heart knows where a star goes.
I do find that, like, he has a great voice and the melody is great, but I am having a hard time understanding what he's saying. I feel like he's singing so softly and the track is quite, like, excited or like it's got a little more energy. Like the track sonically, it doesn't sound like a bad mix between like the level of energy in the track and the level of energy in the vocals. But I find it kind of like a technical problem that because he's singing so softly and there's so much happening in the track, I don't know what he's saying, you know, most of the time, to be honest. Like, I don't know what he just said there at all. I don't... Like, he could just be singing, like do-do-do-do. Yeah, it's definitely open to interpretation, I'll give you that. This is a tough problem to overcome because the track sounds good the way it is. The vocals sound good how they are, but they're so soft. I don't necessarily know if it's just strictly a volume problem. Maybe it would be better if his vocals were a bit louder, maybe if they had a bit more high end to them. I'm not really sure, but I can tell you for sure that I'm having a hard time understanding, like, probably...
Hold back. No, you don't need that permission.
Understand, probably, like, in this section here, I can understand him perfect. But as soon as we get here...
When you're going through the motions, when you're locked inside your mind.
Like, I heard going through the motion.
Going through the motions, when you're locked inside your mind. You think I don't notice you make yourself hard to reach.
Didn't understand, I think reach. I heard the word reach. But that whole section here, I'm listening to it over and over, trying to understand. Like, I'm like closing my eyes, like trying to understand the lyrics, and I can't. So I feel like that's something you're gonna have to navigate, whether it's production related, whether it's a mix thing. I don't think it's straight up a mix thing. I think it's maybe the track is becoming too busy, too many other things. It's too complex. I think you're gonna have to strip it out when he's singing so softly, or he's gonna have to sing it with a bit more body. He's gonna have to like sing it a bit harder to match the level of the track. But no matter which way you cut it, I can't understand what he's saying most of the time. And maybe that's a me problem, but I don't think it is. Let's keep going. Especially right here. I don't understand. Like, if I was producing this, depending on how comfortable he was, I would get him to belt this section. Like, the track is belting and he is falsettoing, and I don't know. I'd probably see if, like, hey dude, can you like belt that, like give it full throttle, like fucking full voice, not falsetto. And that would probably cut through a lot better than him, like the falsetto thing, right? It's nice, it sounds good, but when the track's going full throttle and he's in his falsetto voice, I don't know. I think I don't know if you can work with him. I don't know what your dynamic is between the vocalist and, like how you're writing the track, but I think that's probably the only way you're going to get this section to work is if he isn't singing falsetto, if he is singing full voice in order to cut through that mix, because you've got a wall of sound. Like, that's like your sound is wall of super saw sound, right? Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't really know your dynamic, but if you're paying him for the vocals, maybe it's just a discussion that you have with them. Be like, hey, dude, like, would you be willing to try a full voice pass at the chorus? Maybe he'll just do it, or I don't know. Soundwall could be. Yeah, it could be. I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. For me, and like maybe not understanding most of the words isn't a big deal. I don't really know. But I would probably say in order for the vocals to cut through, the falsetto is what's making it so difficult.
Tears will come, but you will make it through. Just be yourself, and I'll be there for you.
That was a good one. So there's like this little thump thing happening. Like right here. It's real low frequency, like real low frequency. I wonder, is that in your guitar or is it intentional or what is it? But it sounds a bit off-putting. It's almost like if I go down here and we go like this. Oh, I guess. Why? Oh. You see it? It's like duh, 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 duh. It's very low frequency, and it's I'd probably cut it out. Anyway, that's what I think. I'm sorry that my feedback may cause you to maybe spend more money, but I think the track's good. I wish I could understand the vocals more. I think that's the main takeaway here. All right, let us move on. Zetmo K-Aesthetic. That's cool. Delete Choral. Third over. So the drop is cool, but everything leading up to it, I got my suspicious eyes on. Is this a YouTube thing? Like, where did the whole intro come from? Because it's a different quality than the rest of the track. So I got my squinty vision on, like my suspicious eyes. I've got my suspicious eyes going, and I'm suspicious as my eyes would indicate. The drop is cool though. So, yeah, I don't know, like I like the drop, but again, I'm suspicious because to me that wasn't made in the same session as this. And the fact that they are, you know, 2 different bit rates makes me feel like maybe this was ripped off of something. And again, allegedly, for legal reasons, I'm not accusing anybody of anything here, but I've seen it. I've seen things. I've seen many things in my life. And it is all contact. Okay. Then we shall move on. The one thing I will say about this intro is I like what's being played, but the lute/guitar is just not convincing enough. And I would maybe try some different instruments, considering it's all contact. Maybe try some different instruments that might lend itself a little bit. You know, like you can basically download a piano sound or a piano library and play it, and it be nearly indistinguishable from somebody playing an actual piano. But it's really hard to get a guitar played on a keyboard and have it convincing. So there's some instruments that lend themselves well to sample libraries, but plucked instruments very rarely sound convincing. So I would probably pick a different instrument or try to make it a bit more convincing, because it does sound pretty MIDI, you know? Once it gets to this section, I don't have any issues with it anymore. But in here, it just kind of sounds like very MIDI guitar. And so I don't know, maybe just try some different instruments. And I really don't, you know, like, we don't have to talk anymore about the bitrate thing, but yeah. Unless did maybe somebody or did like the person you're collaborating with send you the intro and then you made the drop, or, you know, like maybe there's an exchange of goods in the collab, and maybe they need to render it out as a wave and not an MP3. I don't know. I just, like, you know, the spectrogram doesn't lie. There's no information above like 16 kilohertz, which is very indicative of a low quality MP3, like 128, 192. But then here, we got a totally different, it was a lack of high frequencies. I don't have any cymbals and stuff. No, that's not what it is. That wouldn't account for, see how there's like this very hard line and then there's like this little bit of bits and pieces? That is 100%. I don't know what to tell you, dude. There's something causing a bitrate issue. This is a bit. That is 1000%. Like, watch this. If I again go in, turn on this, and try 128. Try 192. See how that line is exactly where the line is? Yeah, there's stuff poking above it, but that's just like an MP3 that's gone through a limiter, right? Like if I do this, let's turn this, and then let me bring, let's get rid of this Edison, and we'll do another ozone. 2 ozones. Okay, and now watch this. So I send, I downsample it to 192. Hold on a sec. Oh, that's why. Okay, try it again. See, I just like replicated. I converted your intro to MP3 to a 192. Now, if we don't have the limiter, we get this super hard line, but then if we just limit it, we're adding some harmonics. Now let's look at yours with both of my ozones. See what I mean? And then if I were to convert this to a 320 after everything I did, anyway, whatever. I'm not going to sit, I don't mean to come across as confrontational if I am. I don't care whether this is an MP3 or not. I'm just saying that if you guys, if it was all done in one session, I don't know how to explain the hard cutoff at 192 kilobits per second. But it's something that you should try to figure out one way or another. Cool. Okay. Is this relevant if we are not resampling? Yes, it is. You can't hear much over 17 kilohertz, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that, so if you MP3 something or you compress something, you take those high frequencies out. It's not like it's not affecting stuff below 16 or 17 kilohertz, right? There are artifacts that present themselves in much lower frequencies. Otherwise, yeah, we wouldn't be able to hear the difference, you know, and if somebody can listen to a wave and a 320 kilobit MP3 and tell you which is which, I would be impressed. I would say 99% of everybody in the world, and this is not scientific at all, but I would say that most people would not be able to listen back to back two audio files. One is a 320 and one is a wave, and be able to tell you which is which. 320s are pretty much good to go. And I'm sure a lot of people would disagree with me on that. But in my opinion, I'll play you two tracks back to back and not tell you which is which, and you won't be able to know which is a wave and which is a 320. But 192, things start to get a little shady, and you can actually, here, check this out. Let's take a track that's a wave. I can show you exactly what it's adding. I don't know. Let's do, what shall we do? Let's do this. How we win. So, we're not quite done with your track, but let's just mute it for now. Okay, check this out. If I send this into this ozone and I do nothing but, it's a wave. Okay, so we're playing a wave right now, right?
This is how we roll, man. This is how we rock. This is how we win.
Now, if I turn this on and click solo artifacts, this is going to play only what the MP3 is going to change. And look at that. That's all stuff that's being added to the sound. Everything you're seeing on there is the artifacts, and that's of a 320. Let's go down to 192. So, yes, it does matter.
This is how we roll, man. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we...
See, 192, but this is what's actually changing. When I click solo artifacts, it only plays the things that are going to change about the audio. Definitely wouldn't do 96 kilobits per second.
This is how we roll, man. This is how we win.
But it wouldn't matter for a wave sample that was cut at 17 hertz. Yes, if you low pass at 17 kilohertz, I don't know. I think you'd be surprised, because like, let's take this and let's set this to, or let's set this. Let's go like this. You might not hear much past that, but are you not hearing anything? Now you got to also keep in mind that you're listening on Twitch, so it might not come across, but I can hear that. Let's go up to 19. Now, obviously it's not a perfect filter. Okay, let's do a brick wall then.
This is how we roll down.
Oh, I did brick wall low pass. I can hear a little bit there. It's not much, but I don't know. We're getting into audiophile territory. You know, I'm not about to sit here and tell you that you should go out and buy a $10,000 piece of tube equipment to listen to my MP3s on. Anyway, whatever. We went off the deep end. But yes, I do agree with you that, like, in terms of a wave file, not many people are going to hear much past that. But it's not just the fact that this cuts off there. It's what else is getting messed up all down in here because of the MP3ization. I mean, like, the drop sounds dope. I think drop sounds sick. Investigate the MP3 thing and profit. Cool. Let's move on. Zylock deform, and there's a couple I'm gonna grab out of the Discord server once we start playing this, so let's have a listen. This is pretty cool. It's quite unique sounding. One thing, it sounds a bit repetitive when you keep using the kind of 8-bit arpeggiated thing. I think, like, switch it up. Don't use it as often. I really noticed it when it was getting towards the end here. Like right here. Now, this is what I think you should do. What's the tempo? Is it 140? I would say yes. So I think what you should do is this. Let's see what this sounds like. Oh, but then that doesn't line up. Maybe we do this instead. Yeah, let's try that. I think that's the better build up, you know? Let's do... Sure, we'll use the same sample as before. Because we lost some of the build-up effects because I cut it, right? But I think this is a much better arrangement to start off with. Let's just, I don't know, do this. I'll just try to make it a little smoother with some whoop-de-doos and dingle-dangles. Then the next thing, we need like some sort of crash or something. I also feel like it's missing like quite a bit of top end, like character stuff. Maybe the color base kind of thing could be louder, more in your face or something. But to me, when I go like this, I'm not hearing any bass. I'm not hearing dun 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 dun. Oh, the only thing I'm hearing is that color bass thing, and it's not really playing the. Even when I bring it down to like 350 hertz, I still don't hear much dun 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 dun. Because it's mostly sub bass that's happening in this section. You know, like it's pretty much just sub bass with the color bass and the ear candy on. But I do think that this is quite an improvement. You know, I'm not suggesting you fix this in the master bus, but this is kind of like how bright I think it should probably be about this bright. So yeah, so basically, if you look at what I did, and let's compare it. Let's listen to what you sent initially. We'll turn off everything I did. We'll look over here at the spectrum analyzer. Okay. I'll store that in A. So I stored that's your frequency response. Now let's listen to what I did. See what I mean? Like your drop section feels very muffled. It feels like there's not a whole lot happening in the top end. Again, I'm not recommending you go and do this in the master bus. You need to figure out how to bring brightness and life to the track through production and mixing. And then the mastering is just kind of the last little tweaks and to glue it all together. But yeah,
I think that's what I got. Let's keep listening. I also feel like, you know, there's no real hook or melody to speak of. There's the bass line, there's the arpeggiators, but there's no real melody. You know, whatever. I think that whoever said the DK underwater level, maybe listen to that for some inspiration in terms of like, what do they do for melody? Let's have a listen. DK Donkey Kong is here. DK underwater music. It's the do-do-do. See, that's the melody. Do do do. That, you know what I mean? That's what you need. You need something like that in this track at some point. What's up, Sawyer? Yeah, I'm kind of pretty. I've got quite a few to get through and not a lot of time. So let's do next week. Anyway, okay. So that's what I think. I think that the track needs more top end. I think you should consider doing this for right before the drop. I think it needs cymbals, crashes, and I think you need to figure out a melody or something. Anyway, cool. Let us move on. What's up next? That was Zylock. Exhibition or exhibition, haunted. Again with the MP3. What's going on? It's a 320. The file itself is a 320. But this is cut off at 192. Yeah, but the file itself is 320. Yeah, I mean, like, okay, so at least the whole track is cut off at the 192 line, but I don't know, like, am I doing something? No, because I played. Wait, somebody sent in a. Let me just play. Hold on a sec. No, I played How We Win, and it was all the way up. Wow. I don't know, because like I said, the file itself is 320 kilobits, which should go right up to like 20 kilohertz. But this is being cut off at 192. So whatever. There you go. You should figure it out. We'll move on. Sorry, I have my ozone. It wasn't on before. I just turned it on, but I think like the drop is sick. Let me. To me, it almost doesn't sound sausaged enough or something, like. Yeah, I think it needs to go a bit harder. Like the track sounds like it's going hard, but the mix and master are not sausaged enough to kind of represent that that hardness. I think. Yeah, I think maybe one of the problems is that your kick and snare are like quite a bit louder than all the other elements, and that's really driving like how much you can squanch it. Like you can really, the kick and the snare almost stand on their own in terms of how loud they are. So I'd probably bring them down so that you can bring everything else up without the limiter just absolutely getting, destroyed. Like I'm really hurting it. I'm putting it through the ringer here. But this type of music kind of has to be. This is like, use the distortion pedal as the master limiter type of shit. That I think that's going to be my main feedback for this one, is that you got to go, if you're going to go hard, you got to go hard, And I think you went a little like half hard. You're like, this is like half chubbed, Yeah, it's dope, dude. Like the track is really good. The drops are really good. I think it's mostly just a mix and master thing, and figure out why you're not going past the. Oh no, I moved this. Oh, why? What? Yeah, why it's not getting past that 192 kilobit per second thingy. But yeah, track's dope. Maybe turn the kick down and turn everything else up, and overall get a little bit dirtier on the master. Like, don't be afraid to distort the shit out of it, because that's the idea. Like, this type of music kind of needs that. Like, what's it sound like if I just do this? Let's take your track, do nothing else but this. Oh, sorry, wrong knob. It doesn't even sound that bad. So that's how you know that you can go hard in the master with this style of music, because I straight up just put a distortion on your master, and yes, it sounds distorted, but that's okay. By the way, I'm not condoning putting a distortion on your master, but I just wanted to prove a point. So, yeah, right on. Keep going. Good job. Let's move on. Vagamag's Orbit. All right. Well, this is a stark, this is a big difference. Let me make sure I'm not doing anything. There we go. Okay, I'm going to stop here for a sec. I like this. I think the sample or the bit crushed lo-fi sound is maybe a bit too like in my face with you know, like the aliasing. 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks really cool on the Wave Candy though. I don't think the snare is right for this style. I feel like you should go for a kick, crunchy kick. I don't think it should be kick, snare, kick, snare. And I know that it's kick, kick, snare, like kick and then the kick and the snare happening at the same time. But the snare is so like punchy that the kick is kind of being pushed out of the way. So it kind of feels more like it's doing a kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare. And I think it should be kick, crunchy kick, crunchy kick, crunchy kick. I don't think there's any way for me to actually do that, but I'm going to certainly try. What is the tempo? I don't think it's 80 there, FL, but good. I think that drum fill is too quiet as well. It's very soft and gentle. All right. Oh, shit. I did the wrong thing. There we go. No way, it's 120. Wow, it's 120. Okay, good enough. Let's try it. First, we're going to try this. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's on. We got her now. We just got to cut it into quarter note sections. I actually prefer that, even. Kick snare using this genre. Okay, I'm going to slice it, and then I'm going to dice it. And then I'm going to 69 it, or whatever the saying is. Snip, 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 snap, snip, snap. And then I'm going to copy paste. All right. I have successfully gotten rid of your snares. Okay, now let's try some crunchy claps and see what we can do, just to give you some ideas. We'll do this as a placeholder. Yeah, this kind of lends itself well to vaporware or vaporware. Okay, why won't it let me select the... Oh, okay. Whoopsies. Yeah, anyway, I'm not gonna keep going, but you get the idea. I think that I think the little, like, the more subtle clap is the way to go. You're getting some distortion on these big hits, but I really do like this. This part's sick. Yeah, musically this is dope, dude. It's really good. I would probably go for, maybe go for like a Daft Punk kind of vibe, like I was doing here. Like almost treat it like a sample. I don't know, like you've got, it almost sounds like a song that would sound really good to sample. Yeah, it's really good. I would keep going. Don't use that snare. Maybe listen to some Daft Punk for some inspiration. And I also will say that I liked I kind of liked it not going back to the like this super lo-fi kind of sample crush thing. I liked everything you did over here better. It's all really good sounding. Okay, cool. Let's move on. Good job. Safaro Murcielago. So right off the top, we got a wall of sound, and the wall of sound continues. I think it would be cool if you have a wall of sound, and then when you get here, cut it all out except like the kick and the bass line or something. Have a really hard contrast there, because it's just like this big wall of sound, and then the drop happens and it's the wall of sound, but now we have a kick drum. Like, that's not that exciting. If it was a huge wall of sound and then zoop, kick, bass line, maybe the percussion or something, that would be a really cool moment. It's like, oh yeah, that's a dirty bass line. The bass line sounds dirty, but I almost can't hear it because of the wall of like chord sound that's happening. So I'd probably try that. Yeah, and also like the chords kind of sound like they're drifting on top of each other, like the release time is too long on the synth or something. Like there's something causing the chords to have a bit of dissonance when they change from one chord to another. So I would investigate that. I wonder what the tempo is. Let's just do this real quick. There's no way, right? No way it's 120. No way. This again sounds like it would lend itself well to like a Daft Punk kind of like almost like taking this and sampling it. Sometimes I do that too. I'll take a track that I'm working on and it's like it's very, maybe it's complex, there's a lot of parts and whatnot, and I'll just render it out to a WAV file and then I'll load it in and sample it as if it's not my track. And sometimes you can come up with some cool ideas doing that. It also helps because now that you've rendered it all down to an audio file, you're not spending so much time like obsessing over all the needless details. I mean, what's it sound like if we do this? what's it sound like if we do this? Yeah, I think the biggest thing this is suffering from is just like too much stuff all at the same time. Simplify it. Give us a chance to really appreciate each main element as opposed to putting them all on top of each other. Are you talking about the one that's sustaining, Raham? Because, like, I like what it's playing. It reminds me almost like, what's the, not Calvin Harris. Oh, my God. The one who did the Call on Me track, the remix. Anyway, it reminds me kind of like that. I think this track has a lot of potential. I think you just got to figure out a way of simplifying it and having each individual section have a bit more of its own character as opposed to just everything all the time. Eric Pratt, yeah, that's who I was talking about. Anyway, cool. That's what I think. I think it's dope though. You're off to a good start. Let's check out Nemkai, The Pain of Staying Where You Are Meets the Pain of Growth interlude. Another vocoder song. Wow. So, a couple things. The vocoder leading up to it, I don't know. It's kind of like, it's kind of just in the background. It's not really like, I don't know why this is being in the background, but it sounds like it's in the back. Like, it doesn't really sound, I can't understand any of the words. Maybe that's okay. Maybe, I don't know. When it drops, I feel like it's like full sub bass. So I'd maybe bring the sub down and everything else up a bit, you know, because to me, the sub is just a bit overbearing. Yeah, I mean, I like the lead. I think it's cool. For some reason, this reference track comes to mind. And I might be way off. Yeah, it's kind of totally different, but... It's dope, dude. It's a good song. The one thing I will say is that the vocoder to me, it is the weak point. In my opinion, the vocoder, it sounds like you wanted to put vocals in, but you wanted to hide behind a vocoder, kind of. It kind of sounds to me like it was used, again, out of insecurity. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's what it comes across to me as. Everything else in the track sounds great. I think the sub is a little loud compared to the rest of the stuff. But the vocoder just, I don't know. I don't love it. It doesn't feel as authentic as everything else. But if you love it, then keep it in. Cool. Let's move on. Multi Fox. Haven't heard Multi Fox in a while. Bass Storm. Oh my goodness. Look at those drums. If anybody wants to steal these drums, we certainly could easily do that. Okay, I was along for the ride, but whatever the percussive thing that's fading in, it's out of key. Now I'm realizing it's the bass. So I really liked it up until these two elements started playing that aren't playing the same key. If I go and I find this, and I find this, and I listen to here, or sorry, here. Okay, so at the first of the song, we're in the key of F. Right? But now... Now we're in F sharp. We're off by one semitone. So everything was going along perfectly well in F. And then F sharp started happening. And those two notes do not go well together. So I think you got to pick either F or F sharp and make sure both the start and the rest of the song are in the same key. Now the next thing I'm going to say is... Not a whole lot happening on your side channel at the start of this drop. Like we have like the hi-hat and maybe some short reverb on the bass that's bleeding through, but I try to find something to play with in the side. I wouldn't just spread everything out to the sides, but you're giving up a lot of real estate by not really using the side channels that much. I wonder if I could do this. Let's see what happens if I... Let's do this. Let's just put this up. Just out of curiosity, I just took the start of your track, put it up a semitone. Let's see. Okay, I think your bass storm, the vocal thing is also at a key. Wait, am I wrong? Why is that? Bow, bow. Let me reevaluate. That's definitely F sharp. And that's definitely F. So then I put this up a semitone. Why does it still sound out of key? I don't know. I'm thoroughly confused. Let's keep going. Again, we have the two out of key things. I think that's going to be the biggest thing here. You put the wrong thing up. Thank you for telling me that. Oh my God. I'm an idiot. That's how rusty I am. I know what I did. I didn't make unique. What a noob. I had to... Oh, I'm stupid. Okay. There we go. Let's try this. Okay. I didn't make this clip unique, so when I was pitch shifting this, it was also pitch shifting that. Hey, listen, I don't do a lot of FL these days, okay? You gotta cut me some slack. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. The next thing... I wonder if your bass wubs could reinforce the do 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 do, you know, instead of bow bow. What if it was, which kind of sounds like Bon Jovi, bow bow, dum 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 dum. What if it was bow bow bow? I don't know. I really liked that kind of like South American Latin vibe, and I found that it's still like it's still there, but I don't know, it's kind of lost amongst it. It's maybe something to think about. Could you keep the boom de boom de a little bit more on the drop so that it's more related to the start? It might develop into an idea. Like the mix and master sound pretty good. I think the biggest thing is just, yeah, musically fix the key thing and then try to phrase your bass around the boom te boom te thing and see what maybe that gives you a cool idea. All right. That's my thought. Let's check out Moist DNB. Love that title. I would maybe bring the high pass down a little bit on the kick and snare part. I don't know, maybe just a little dooch, dooch. I think I remember reading somewhere that it was like 186 beats per minute or something. 187? Yeah, like what if, like obviously we don't want the full throttle drums and everything, but what if you just had like a little... like this, but then we just like shorten it up a bunch. Oh my God. I think that this is maybe going to be better. And I'm going to do the same with the snare as well. Just like I get the idea behind having it so high pass, but I think it's just maybe a little overly high pass. Okay, I really like where this is going, but the reverse. Here's what it sounds like. Hold on. The reverse kind of goes like this. And it ends just a little early, and then we get the same sample, but just unreversed. It sounds very the effects from here to there sound very clunky. I would refine them a bit. And then it comes back again. I know I like focus in on effects a lot, but I know that doing effects is like a lot of producers' least favorite thing, and therefore it gets probably the least attention. So yeah, I think the is a bit, could be better. Let's keep going. So yeah, again, you know what I'm going to say. The effects are repetitive and obvious. I would fix it. Get a little, just get creative. Get a bit more creative with the swells and the unswells. My next thing is, I wonder what it would sound like if you drop, and then right there, what if you got rid of like the top synth and just had the bass dum 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 with, and then brought that top synth in later. Like that, the reverby, the arpeggio thing, maybe pull that out for the start of the drop. That will give this moment more impact, especially because you've got that reverb kind of background arpeggiator going in this little fake out build thing. If you cut it, including the reverb hard at the downbeat and just have dum 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 dum, like the bass thing going with the drums, I think that this moment will be much more impactful. And maybe even get rid of the cymbal, something like that. Is feedback allowed? I don't know what that means. Anyway, let's keep going. And also another reason, you can submit by going to the Discord server, but we're all full for today. I do it every Friday. So if you hop in and join the server, we will listen to your track next week, Friday at 5 o'clock Atlantic Standard Time. And so I think that the reverb thing, if you held off, when you get to this section, you can bring it back in, and now it feels like we've gone somewhere. I like this switch up, but I feel like it's a bit lazy. The drum beat goes halftime, but the everything else kind of stayed the same. Like there wasn't a whole lot else that changed. Where do you get all your packs? Like my sample packs, I have been collecting them for 20 years from everywhere, anywhere that sells packs. I don't think I've bought a single thing off Splice though. And I've literally been collecting them for 20 years. A lot of them I've made, but I started making electronic music in 2004. So 20 years of samples, that's how I have 166,000 drum one-shots on my hard drive. So if I do a little, let's do a little inventory. So that that arpeggiator thing is there the entire time, which only reinforces my idea of taking it out at the start of this drop. You know, because it gets a bit repetitive when we're hearing the same, especially when it's hitting us every 8th note, I think, or maybe 16th note. I don't know how to do music. Yeah, I'd probably pull some things in and out to give it a bit of variety. And again, pull it out here. Just have the dum 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 dum. I think that's gonna make this track have a lot more dynamics and a lot more life to it, because it's not just that like sound in the reverbed out arpeggiator the entire time. And again, when you switch up the when you go to halftime, I don't think you should just have the rest of the track doing the exact same thing. You know, it doesn't sound like enough of a change. But I really like the bones. I like what you've done here. I think taking some of those things and not being so lazy with your effects. Don't be lazy with your effects. I'm going to call you out every single time. Cool. All right, let's move on. Lost and Found Oral. Wow, that was like a refreshing sparkling grapefruit drink. I liked it. The bit rate sucked, so probably don't render it out as a 192 next time. I have very little feedback on this besides it's really good. I think having some playful little vocal stabs here and there, like like little something just to give it a human touch, I think would help a lot. But it's pretty dope as is, if we're being honest. I think the track is great. It moves along great. Don't really have any criticism besides the bit rate. So don't render it out as a 192 next time. But yeah, maybe try throwing in a little sassy vocal thing here and there. I feel like that helps anchor it in like there's like a human involved, because this music is obviously very digital and like cool and edgy and stuff, but having like a vocal cut in there every once in a while, I think that would really ground it, I guess you could say. Okay, cool. That was easy because it was great. Let's move on. Whoops. Okay, punk song demo. I Don't Like My Drums by Kaidia. Okay, before we go on, I don't know if you know Mindless Self-Indulgence, that band, but this kind of sounds like them, and I love Mindless Self-Indulgence. Let's keep going.
Good girls get the short end of the stick. Bad girls get kindling or a noose around the neck. Good girls play it safe.
I would try, okay, so on your vocals, I would maybe try some like slapback delay. Like delay with not very much feedback and like a 16th note or something around there in terms of delay, like kind of like that 80s like kind of vocal effect. I think that might fit this quite well.
Bad girls get kindling or a noose around the neck. Good girls play it safe. Good girls don't make waves. Good girls turn into bad girls when the world won't change. You call us witches 'cause we use our intuition.
So I think the general mix sounds good. I actually kind of like your drums. I think they are they're kind of raw and they're like drum machiney, but like almost like what's that song? It's like tear you apart. Tear you apart. Yeah, this.
Escape was just a nod and a casual wave. Obsessed about it heavy for the next 2.
And he actually kind of has some slapback delay on his voice too. It's more of like a room reverb sound, but it's kind of got that like very quick echo kind of thing. Anyway, I think your vocals are a bit loud in the mix. They feel like they're sitting on top of the mix. I was trying to see if I could squish everything together with the limiter, and I think it was kind of working.
Bad girls get kindling or a noose around the neck. Good girls play.
I really like your drums. I think the problem is the vocals are too loud and unprocessed. So getting them to sit in the mix is going to be the trick here.
Call us witches 'cause we use our intuition. You put us on a pedestal just to watch us fall. You burn books and bridges, but we won't bow to your ambitions. 'Cause the hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that rules the world. And you can't burn our soul.
Okay, here. I was hoping there would be a section with just your vocals so that I could do this.
You can't burn us.
We're just going to take this little section and do this. Let's go like this. Come on. Let's see.
You can't burn.
Oh, that's whoopsies.
You can't burn us.
I'm just going to loop it.
You can't burn us so. 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 You can't burn us so.
I know that it can be rough listening to the exact same thing over and over.
You can't burn us so. You can't burn us so. You can't burn us so. You can't burn us. You can't.
Oh my God. I know. You can't burn us. I know. The life of a music producer.
You can't burn us. You can't burn us so. You can't burn us. You can't burn us so.
See, like this little effect train. What am I trying to say? Signal path? I don't know what you want. Whatever. Sounds great, except the S is now 2S. If you listen,
You can't burn us so.
here the vocals have a lot more life because we killed down the low end a bit, and I boosted a lot of the high end, and I added some excitement with this slapback delay. And now to I'll put I was just about to say to Raham's point, put a distortion on it or something. So if we put decapitator on it,
You can't burn us so. You can't burn us so. You can't burn us so.
that, and then let's put a de-esser on it to get rid of that harsh S that happens. We're gonna put that before the delay though. Actually, we'll put it before everything.
You can't burn us so. You can't burn us so.
So like that, okay, and then let's listen to it dry.
You can't burn us so. You can't burn us so.
Like it just has a lot more excitement to it. So I think that's what I think that's something you would try. Let's keep going.
You can't burn us so.
You also have no cymbals, like crash cymbals at the start of like the big moments, which are going to help a lot. So like, for example, right here, let's just go grab a crash of whatever sorts. Sure. Oops.
Burn us so.
Oh, you do have some crashes, but they're not where I would expect them to be. But honestly, I think your drums sound good. I think they fit it. If anything, you could like distort them. Like it's a punky song. We could go back to the master bus, turn on this. Obviously, that's a bit much, but like you can get away with a bit more like processing, you know? Oh, shoot.
Bad boys get accolades and praise. Good guys get the girl if they don't wind up.
Honestly, I think that this is a good reference for this song. I think that your song is a bit more badass than that one. It's got a bit more like teeth, but I think it's a good reference.
Get the girl if they don't wind up in last place. Good girls keep it clean, never make a scene. Bad girls are tired of your shit and don't care what you think. You call us witches 'cause we use our intuition. You put us on a pedestal just to watch us fall. You burn books at
This part, like, I'm assuming this is the chorus, right? So maybe for this chorus, drop out some stuff. Have it a bit more like a sing along, like, you know, drop out the guitar, maybe drop out some of the drums. Maybe it's just like a kick or a hi-hat or something, and it's more about like the vocal for a certain section, and then bring it all back in. I think that could be a cool idea to try at least.
bow to your ambitions, 'cause the hand that rocks the cradle is the hand.
It would also serve to kind of break up the track a bit, because I do find, especially without like the cymbals, designating the start of certain sections of the track, it's a little tough to figure out where I'm at in the track. And also the fact that I keep starting and stopping it isn't helping. So let's back it up and just listen to it again.
Bad girls are tired of your shit and don't care what you think. You call us witches 'cause we use our intuition. You put us on a pedestal just to watch us fall. You burn books and bridges, but we won't bow to your ambitions. 'Cause the hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that rules the world. And you can't burn us all.
Yeah, I think also, like, I'm not sure what you're doing for the guitar. I'm not convinced that it's a real guitar, but I'm also, it doesn't sound super fake. But if you think about it, like, the guitar is just like, I think maybe the whole song. What happened to that part? This is arguably one of the better parts.
Can't burn us all.
And you could also do,
You can't.
this could be your chorus if you took,
You can't burn us all. Can't burn us all. You can't. You can't burn us all.
like, that could be the chorus. I think that's the problem I'm having is I don't know what part is what part. And I do think that dun 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 dun, that's like probably, that should probably be the chorus. And then you could put the, you could have the you could burn us all, or you can't burn us all at the end of each measure.
You can't burn us all. You can't burn us all. Bad boys get.
Yeah, I don't know how to place them per se, but I don't know that. Yeah, I don't really know what you mean by the remix. I think that this section is too good to just kind of happen once and then not come back. I almost would build up to that section and that be the delivery. That's the thing we want.
Make a scene.
Oh, it does come back. I have whatever the kids call ADD, DHI or whatever. I'm all over the place all the time.
When do I get to be? When do I get to be human? When do I get to be human? In your eyes. When do I get to make mistakes and have it be okay? When do I get to be human? You call us witches. You burn books and bridges. We won't bow to your ambitions. 'Cause the hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that rules the world. And you can't burn us all. You can't burn us all.
I like the sine wave outro. Yeah, I still think that the arrangement is a bit like how I'm listening to it. It's
Call us witches 'cause we use our intuition.
okay, you call us witches.
And you can't, don't care what you think. And you can't burn us all.
So why doesn't it come back here? Maybe that's what I'm missing. Maybe like...
And you can't burn a soul.
And you could maybe do the your vocal thing on top of it. You know what I mean? Obviously that, you know, there's a lot of shit happening because I just put two parts on top of each other, but like, I don't know. Yes, the chords are different, but the vocals might still work on top of it. Like, let's try this. I don't know. I'm not trying to restructure your song, but I am trying to maybe restructure your song. I don't know. I just really like the dun 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 dun. Like that to me is like, I don't know. That to me sounds like the chorus. And because all the other parts have a dung 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 part, I think breaking that up with the guitar that does something different really drives home the fact that it is the chorus. Like now we get away from dum 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 dum, and then we go to dun 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 dun. I don't know. I think it sounds dope. Those are my thoughts. Good luck. All right. My back teeth are beginning to float. We got 2 tracks left. Broke Boy Nightmares. All right. Let's have a listen. Before we listen, let me make sure that I turned everything off, because we all know how I am.
I've been working through the day and night. Finish line there in sight. Wanted you with me, but you couldn't see. I ain't sleeping through the day or night. You broke my heart 1,000 times. It wanna London, now I just wonder, would you ride when I slide?
Okay, so a couple things right off the bat. Let me make sure. Okay, that was my bad.
Been working through the day when I slide.
Sorry, one sec. I had the distortion on, so it was a little more distorted. So first thing that I noticed was the vocals.
Been working through the day and night.
The timing on the vocals and the timing on the hi-hats, the vocals feel early. Almost like, they almost sound like globally early. Like the whole clip has been shifted. But they almost sound like they're in time with the bling, like the key thing that's happening. But they sound early versus the hats. So I'm not sure if the timing is just a little sloppy on the vocals. I think the vocals sound good. They may be a little too hot, like they're too loud and like almost like saturated or something. They're a little on the hot side. But the bigger problem is the timing as it relates to the hi-hat.
Wanted you with me, but you couldn't see.
And the clap as well, like the hats and the clap, like basically like the 808.
You couldn't see.
See how like...
But you couldn't see. I ain't sleeping through the day or night.
Let's try to figure out what the tempo is. Okay, that's...
I've been working through the day.
80... 90?
I've been working through the day and night. Finish line there in sight. Wanted you with me, but you couldn't see. I ain't sleeping through.
So okay, so see like see these little, those are the drums. So we're lined up to the grid, and see how I right here starts about a 30-second note ahead of the actual downbeat. So
But there were some, this line didn't sound too bad, but you can see it's still early.
Wanted you with me, but you couldn't see.
See this start right here, this start of this dense section is the start of can't.
Couldn't see.
Can't see. And you can see that this is kind of where it should land, right here.
Couldn't see. I ain't
And then I is early as well. So I guess what I'm trying to get across is the timing on the vocals feels off.
undone. Would you ride when I slide? Would you stay with me? If I die, would you cry? Would you pray for me? $1 million dreams and broke boy nightmares. Stay chasing my dreams, you wasn't with me. $1 million dreams and broke boy nightmares. Now you're just a memory, even to the death of me. Been trapping for the racks all night, catching these LA flights, seeing sights never seen, feeling dopamine.
But like this section, the vocals didn't feel rushed. The vocals felt on time for the most part during this section. Sounded pretty good here, but there's still a few passages. I think you might have to go and cut your vocal take into pieces and like shift them around to get them to line up.
Seeing sights.
Say, like right here, it's not to say that like you can't have a little bit of the S happen before the beat. You know, it can be so like there can be that, but you should be able to like listen specifically to the timing, and you'll feel sometimes the vocals feel rushed.
Seeing sights never seen, feeling dopamine. I've been running away from your ghost, haunting me coast to coast. It was your blunder, but I still wonder. It was your ride when I slide.
And if you want next week, if you want to send me the beat and the vocals separate, I'll cut it up and move it around to show you how I would do it. If you want to do that.
Ride when I slide, would you stay with me? If I die, would you cry? Would you pray for me? $1 million dreams and broke boy nightmares. Stay chasing my dreams, you wasn't with me. $1 million dreams and broke boy nightmares. Now you're just a memory, even to the death of me. Your love is overdue. I've been so over you. My dreams are just for two, and baby you're not it. Not it. You was just toxic. You was just talking. Now your boy popping.
Like now your boy popping. That line is very early.
Boy popping. Now your boy popping. Had to go wildin'. Ain't no more talking, please no calling. Would you ride when I slide? Would you stay with me?
I like the chorus though. I think that the vocal performance is good, besides the timing issues. It's a bit hot in the mix, and you can really hear that when like the 808 bass line comes in, because the 808 sub and your vocals are like distorting together in the master.
Stay chasing my dreams, you wasn't with me. $1 million dreams and broke boy nightmares. Now you're just a memory, even to the death of me. Your love is overdue. I've been so over you. My dreams are just for two, and baby.
So I think just bringing them down a little bit, and maybe whatever you got on this for like saturation or like a bit of distortion or whatever, maybe just chill it out just a little bit. I wouldn't go too far, but just a little bit.
I've been high when I slide. Would you stay with me? If I die, would you cry? Would you pray for me? $1 million dreams and broke boy nightmares. Stay chasing my dreams, you wasn't with me. $1 million dreams and broke boy nightmares. Now you're just a memory, even to the death of me. Your love is overdue. I've been so over you. My dreams are just for two, and baby you're not it. And your love is overdue. I've been so over you. My dreams are just for two, and baby you're not it.
But yeah, overall it's a great track, dude. I think like I said, if you want next week, send me the vocals and the beat separate. Make sure the vocals don't have any reverb or delay on them, because then I won't be able to cut them and move them around without that getting all messed up.
And I think you'll be surprised, just little tweaks here and there, shifting lines, and all of a sudden the track just feels like so much better. Basically, whenever if I record vocals, work with a vocalist, etc., I almost always have to cut it up and make small tweaks here and there. It's just part of like the production process, because no vocalist there's pitch you got to worry about, delivery, emotion, timing. You got to all those things bang on. And timing is like the easiest to fix, because most of the time you just cut the words and syllables and move them around a little bit and all of a sudden it's fixed, right? You can't really, there's no knob to turn for like emotion or feeling or authenticity. So I don't get too hung up on pitch if it's pretty close but not bang on, or timing, because those two things, melodyne and cutting things up, you can fix those two things. I'm more concerned about how real does it sound, how, you know, the emotion and how authentic the performance is. And I think you've done a good job in that. I just think the timing could be better. All right, cool. Last one of the night. Let's listen to another one. DJ Khaled. So this is very cool. It's showing signs of 192. The file itself is 320. Don't know what that's about. Look into that. Mostly what I think is it sounds really good. It sounds like a soundtrack track, and I think it would work well as is, as like a background track to, you know, like a John Wick or something kind of movie. But in terms of it being a standalone thing, I don't think it has enough grit. It doesn't have enough teeth. Everything is kind of gentle. There's a lot of reverb, and that works well up until this doesn't really like hit that hard, right? So what I would do is I get rid of your big boom, the big like thunder effect. I would probably just try turning off all of the reverb in this section and see what it sounds like. It's going to be drastic and you might not like it, and that's okay. But I think that everything is too reverbed out. Then the next thing you're going to probably want to do is maybe open up the filter or increase the envelope amount on the low pass on the synth, because it's just a little too subdued, and there wasn't enough of a change from here. But if that bass was, you know, and the kick and snare was, I mean, I could just do it real quick. Let's do this. What is it, 108? So I send this, let's just do this, and this, and then this. I don't know, this might not work out because obviously I only have your entire track to work with, so I can't really process things individually, but that's never stopped me before, so here we are. Yeah, like that big boom. Oh, but maybe I can get this section without the boom. That's going to be kind of hard to do. Okay, I just won't be able to. I don't know. Let's do this. It might not work, but we're going to give it a 3-second try and see what happens. How do you pronounce your name? It's Nicholas Roswell Fowler, Esquire the Third. Okay, so now we get maybe this. Again, I'm not feeling very optimistic that I'm going to be able to work with this track as a whole. Okay, it's not 108 beats per minute. I lied. What the hell is it then? It's 109. Should have known. All right, now let's grab some sort of snare clap or something and see what it sounds like. Let's do drum damage. Actually, you know what? Here, because you can just go steal these. So if you like them, then you can just steal them. Because I put all my stems in my Discord server. So if we just go, fuck, I gotta remember where they are. Fowler. Stems. So yeah, all my stems are in the stems channel on my Discord server for all the songs that I've put out. So you can always go steal stuff. Where? Fowler and Chanel. There it is. Stems. Snare. Oopsies. All right, theft. Fowler stealing from Fowler. Oh, let's just try these. Okay, obviously this is too quiet now, so we need to... drop head low energy, then the build up. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it with the track the way it is. But I think during the drop sections, trying to get some of that like ethereal reverb, like spaciousness out of it and get it a little bit harder and a little bit like edgier, a little bit sharper, so that your claps aren't just and the hats aren't you know, it's okay to have like some of this ear candy stuff. I think is still cool to have, like the reverb and stuff. But just generally speaking, the track just is not, it's not in your face enough. It's too nice sounding. It's too gently mixed. And that works well for a lot of the other parts that are supposed to sound like that. Like, well, no, neither of those. Like those sections sound dope. I wouldn't really change much about those. It's just when it gets to the kind of yeah, too ambient in the drop. The end. All right, that's what I think, dude. I think it sounds really like honestly, and it would work under a as like background music, but I don't think you're trying to write background music. You're trying to write front ground music. And I think there's a better word than front ground, but that's the word I'm going to use. And in order to do that, you got to bring that drop way up, way more in my face. And overall, the track, like I had a limiter on it and I was, you know. Even just doing that, like it sounds better, but it's nowhere near what it could be if you got it a bit more grit. And generally, you're gonna have a hard time when you put these big booms with a lot of bass in them, like those effects that a lot of that stuff. You're gonna have a hard time mixing that in with the bass line and whatnot. So I'd probably not use big booms on the top of the drop. I would filter out the low end and I'd sidechain the effects and just have more of a psh sound. That way your bass can still cut through and it's not getting all warbled up by the effects. All right, I gotta pee really bad. So that's it for today, folks. This is me. Okay, you guys have a good weekend. I love you all. Good job, everybody. It's nice to see you all moving forward in a productive manner, and keep it up. Be creative, have fun, have a good weekend, and I will see you next week. Okay, bye. And I'm muting the microphone.